First contact. The vastness of space stretched out before Sarah Rees as she gazed through the observation deck of the research vessel Horizon. Stars twinkled in the distance, each one a potential harbor for undiscovered life. As the ship's lead xenobiologist, Sarah had dedicated her life to the search for alien organisms, but after 3 years of deep space exploration, they had yet to find anything more complex than microbial life. Sarah sighed, her breath fogging the transparent aluminum of the viewport. At 32, she was the youngest scientist to lead an interstellar expedition, a fact that filled her with both pride and an overwhelming sense of responsibility. Her short, auburn hair floated gently in the low gravity of the observation deck, a reminder of how far from home they truly were. Dr. Rees to the bridge. Captain Chen's voice crackled over the intercom, a hint of excitement breaking through his usually stoic demeanor. "We've picked up something you need to see." Sarah's heart raced as she made her way to the bridge, her mind already racing with possibilities. As the doors slid open, she was greeted by the tense faces of the bridge crew, all eyes focused on the main view screen. "What have we got, Captain?" Sarah asked, trying to keep her voice steady. Captain Chen, a seasoned space veteran with salt and pepper hair, gestured to the screen. "It's a distress signal, Doctor. Weak, but definitely artificial. Coming from an uncharted planet in a nearby system." Sarah studied the readouts, her eyes widening as she processed the information. "This signal, it's not like anything in our database. It's alien." A hush fell over the bridge as the implications sank in. After years of searching, they had finally found evidence of intelligent alien life. "Plot a course," Sarah said, her voice barely above a whisper. "We need to investigate." The journey to the source of the signal took 3 days, during which Sarah barely slept. She spent her time poring over the data, trying to decipher any meaning from the strange, pulsating transmission. As they approached the planet, Sarah's excitement grew. The world that greeted them was a swirl of deep purples and blues, its atmosphere thick with swirling clouds. Scans revealed a breathable atmosphere and gravity similar to Earth's, but with higher oxygen levels and traces of unknown gases. "It's beautiful," Sarah breathed as she suited up for the landing party. Despite the breathable atmosphere, protocol demanded full environmental suits for first contact situations. As the shuttle descended through the planet's atmosphere, Sarah's mind raced with questions. Who sent the distress signal? What kind of life would they find? And most importantly, would they be friendly? The shuttle touched down in a clearing surrounded by towering, tree-like structures with iridescent leaves that shimmered in the planet's dim, reddish sunlight. Sarah was the first to step out, her boots sinking slightly into the spongy, moss-like ground cover. "Oxygen levels are high, but safe," she reported, checking her suit's readouts. "No immediate signs of toxins or pathogens in the air." The team spread out, collecting samples and taking readings. Sarah wandered towards the edge of the clearing, drawn by a strange, low-humming sound. As she pushed through the dense foliage, she froze, her breath catching in her throat. There, in a small glade, lay a creature unlike anything Sarah had ever seen or imagined. It was massive, easily the size of an elephant, with a body covered in iridescent scales that shifted color like oil on water. 6 powerful limbs ended in wickedly curved claws, and a long serpentine neck supported a head that seemed almost draconic in appearance. But what struck Sarah most was the creature's eyes, large, multifaceted organs that shimmered with an unmistakable intelligence, and in those eyes, Sarah saw pain. The creature was wounded, a massive thorn-like object protruding from one of its front limbs. The area around the wound was swollen and discolored, clearly infected. As Sarah approached, the creature let out a low, mournful sound that resonated in her chest. "It's okay," Sarah said softly, knowing the creature couldn't understand her words, but hoping her tone would convey her intent. "I'm here to help." The creature's head swiveled towards her, its eyes focusing with an intensity that made Sarah's heart race. For a moment, she felt sure it would lash out, driven by pain and fear of the unknown. But instead, it remained still, watching her with what seemed like a mixture of caution and curiosity. Sarah slowly reached for her medical kit, her movements deliberate and non-threatening. "I'm going to try to remove that thorn," she explained, more for her own benefit than the creature's. "It's going to hurt, but I promise it'll feel better afterward." As she approached the wounded limb, the creature tensed but didn't move away. Sarah examined the thorn closely, realizing it was more like a crystalline spike than any plant material she was familiar with. Its edges were wickedly sharp, and it pulsed with a faint, sickly light. "Okay, big guy," Sarah muttered, gripping the base of the spike. "On 3. 1, 2. She pulled with all her strength before reaching 3, hoping to catch the creature off guard. The spike came free with a sickening squelch, and the creature rolled in pain, the sound so loud it shook the ground beneath Sarah's feet. For a terrifying moment, Sarah thought she had made a terrible mistake. The creature's massive head snapped towards her, its jaw opening to reveal rows of razor-sharp teeth. But instead of attacking, it simply stared at her, its multifaceted eyes blinking rapidly. Sarah held her breath, her hand still clutching the bloodied spike. Slowly, impossibly, the creature lowered its head until it was eye level with her. A low, rumbling sound emerged from its throat, not unlike the purr of a massive cat. "You're welcome," Sarah whispered, a smile spreading across her face despite her fear. As she began to clean and treat the wound, Sarah's mind raced with the implications of what was happening. This creature was clearly intelligent, possibly even sentient. Its behavior suggested a level of understanding that went beyond simple animal instinct. "I wondered if you're the one who sent that signal," Sarah mused aloud as she worked. "Though I'm not sure how you could have done that without opposable thumbs." The creature made a series of clicking sounds in response, its head tilted, as if listening intently to her words. Sarah laughed softly, the absurdity of the situation finally hitting her. Here she was, on an alien world, treating the wound of a creature that looked like it had stepped out of a fantasy novel. As she finished bandaging the wound, Sarah heard the sound of her team approaching through the underbrush. The creature tensed, its head swiveling towards the noise. "It's okay," Sarah said soothingly, placing a hand on the creature's uninjured limb. "They're friends, they won't hurt you." The creature seemed to understand, relaxing slightly but keeping its eyes fixed on the direction of the approaching humans. When Captain Chen pushed through the foliage and saw the scene before him, he stopped dead in his tracks, his mouth agape. "Dr. Rees," he said slowly, his hand inching towards his sidearm. "Step away from that thing, slowly." Sarah shook her head, standing her ground between the creature and her team. "It's all right, Captain. It's not hostile. I think it might be sentient." As if to prove her point, the creature slowly, deliberately, extended one of its uninjured limbs towards Sarah. At the end of the limb, Sarah noticed for the first time, was an appendage not unlike a hand, with 3 long, flexible digits. Without hesitation, Sarah reached out and placed her hand in the creature's grasp. A jolt of electricity seemed to pass between them, and suddenly, Sarah's mind was flooded with images and sensations that were not her own. She saw a vast, sprawling city of crystal and light, inhabited by creatures like the one before her. She felt the warmth of twin suns on iridescent scales, the joy of soaring through purple skies, and then darkness, fear, a great calamity that drove the creatures underground, into hiding. As quickly as it had come, the vision faded. Sarah gasped, staggering slightly as she came back to herself. The creature, no, she corrected herself mentally, the being watched her with what could only be described as concern. "Dr. Rees?" Captain Chen's voice seemed to come from far away. "Are you all right?" Sarah turned to her team, her eyes wide with wonder and excitement. "Captain," she said, her voice trembling slightly, "I think we just made first contact." As the implications of her words sank in, Sarah knew that nothing would ever be the same again. They had come seeking new life, and they had found it in a form more incredible than they could have ever imagined. And this, she realized, was just the beginning. The being let out a low, melodious trill, drawing Sarah's attention back to it. In its multifaceted eyes, she saw a reflection of her own wonder and curiosity. Whatever came next, Sarah knew that she and this magnificent creature were now inexorably linked, their fates intertwined in ways she could not yet fathom. As the red sun began to set, casting long shadows across the alien landscape, Sarah settled in for what promised to be the most extraordinary night of her life. The first chapter of humanity's greatest adventure was about to unfold, and she was right at the heart of it, the cosmic dance. As the alien world's twin moons rose in the purple sky, casting an ethereal glow over the landscape, Sarah found herself in a situation she had only dreamed of. The massive, iridescent being she had helped, which she had started calling Nova, due to the star-like patterns on its scales, was leading her deeper into the planet's mysterious forest. "Captain, I need to follow Nova," Sarah had insisted, her eyes gleaming with excitement. This could be our only chance to learn about their civilization. Captain Chen had reluctantly agreed, but not without conditions. 2 hours, Dr. Reeves. Then you head back to the shuttle, and keep your comlink open at all times. Now, as Sarah pushed through the bioluminescent undergrowth, she marveled at the alien beauty surrounding her. Floating spores danced in the air, glowing like fireflies, while strange tentacle-like vines reached out as if curious about the newcomer in their midst. Nova moved with surprising grace for a creature of its size, its 6 limbs working in perfect harmony. Every so often, it would turn its massive head to ensure Sarah was keeping up, its multifaceted eyes gleaming with an intelligence that still took Sarah's breath away. Suddenly, the forest opened up into a vast clearing, and Sarah gasped at the sight before her. Towering crystalline structures rose from the ground, their surfaces reflecting the moonlight in a dazzling display of color. At the center stood an enormous obelisk, pulsing with an inner light that seemed to beat like a heart. Was this your city?" Sarah asked in awe, forgetting for a moment that Nova couldn't understand her words. To her shock, a voice resonated in her mind, not in words, but in concepts and emotions that her brain struggled to translate. Home that was, lost but remembered, danger, darkness coming. Sarah staggered, overwhelmed by the alien thoughts invading her mind. "Nova, are you communicating with me?" The being lowered its head, gently touching its forehead to Sarah's. In that moment of contact, Sarah's world exploded into a kaleidoscope of memories and sensations. She saw Nova's people, the Luminari, a race of scientists and explorers who had achieved harmony with their world. She felt their joy as they unlocked the secrets of the cosmos, their technology advancing to seemingly magical levels. And then, darkness, a creeping shadow that consumed worlds. The Void Eaters, an ancient enemy, awakened from the space between stars. Sarah felt Nova's people's terror as their defenses crumbled, their great cities falling one by one. In desperation, the Luminari made a choice. They would sleep, hidden away in secret vaults deep beneath the surface of their world. Nova, youngest and strongest of their scientists, would remain awake, a sentinel to watch for the day when the Void Eaters might return, and to seek help from the stars. As the vision faded, Sarah found herself on her knees, tears streaming down her face. The weight of Nova's loneliness, its centuries of vigilant waiting, crashed over her like a wave. "You've been alone all this time," she whispered, reaching out to place a hand on Nova's shimmering scales. "Waiting for someone to find you." Nova's response came not in words, but in a feeling of affirmation tinged with hope. A sudden tremor shook the ground, causing the crystal structures to vibrate with an ominous hum. Nova's head snapped up, its eyes scanning the sky with alarm. "Danger comes, Shadow Eaters, must prepare." The thoughts tumbled into Sarah's mind with an urgency that made her heart race. As if in response to Nova's warning, the obelisk at the center of the clearing pulsed brighter, projecting a holographic image into the air. Sarah watched in awe as a three-dimensional map of the galaxy materialized, with angry red tendrils creeping towards a pulsing blue dot that she realized must represent their current location. "They're coming here? The Void Eaters?" Sarah asked, her scientific curiosity warring with a growing sense of dread. Nova's affirmation came with a grim determination. More images flooded Sarah's mind, of great machines sleeping beneath the planet's surface, of weapons powered by the fundamental forces of the universe, of a desperate plan formed over centuries of solitude. "You need our help," Sarah realized. "That's why you signaled us. You can't fight them alone." The gratitude and relief emanating from Nova was almost overwhelming. But there was something else too, a question, a request that Nova seemed almost hesitant to ask. Sarah stood, squaring her shoulders as she faced the ancient alien being. "Whatever you need, Nova. We're in this together now. Humanity will stand with the Luminari against the darkness." As if in response to her declaration, the crystal structures around them began to hum with power. Lights flickered to life in long dormant buildings, and beneath their feet, Sarah felt the unmistakable sensation of massive machinery awakening. Nova's next thought message came with a sense of urgency and purpose. "Awaken, kin. Prepare for war. Teach allies." Sarah nodded, her mind already racing with the implications. She had come to this planet seeking new life, new scientific discoveries. Instead, she'd have found herself on the brink of an intergalactic war, with the fate of multiple species hanging in the balance. As she activated her comlink to update Captain Chen, Sarah couldn't help but smile despite the gravity of the situation. This was more than first contact. This was humanity's chance to prove itself on a cosmic stage. "Captain," she said, her voice steady with newfound determination, "we're going to need a lot more than 2 hours. And you might want to contact Earth. Tell them," she paused, looking up at Nova, who stood tall and resolute against the starry sky. "Tell them that humanity just joined an intergalactic alliance, and we have a world to save." As the crystalline city hummed to life around them, Sarah and Nova stood side by side, a human and a luminary united against the encroaching darkness. The next chapter of their adventure was about to begin, and the fate of the cosmos hung in the balance. Little did they know that light years away, in the cold depths of space, the Void Eaters were stirring, their insatiable hunger focused on the tiny blue dot in the galactic map, the last bastion of the Luminary, and now, humanity's first interstellar battlefield, echoes of eternity. The iridescent spires of the awakening Luminary city pulsed with an otherworldly energy as Sarah and Nova raced against time. The looming threat of the Void Eaters hung over them like a cosmic sword of Damocles, driving their preparations with desperate urgency. Quantum fold activating, Nova's thoughts resonated in Sarah's mind as they approached a massive obsidian structure shaped like an inverted pyramid, kin awakening imminent. Sarah watched in awe as the structure's surface rippled like liquid shadow. Suddenly, a blinding flash of light erupted from its core, and figures began to materialize, more luminary, their bodies glistening with the same star-like patterns as Nova's. "By Einstein's ghost," Sarah breathed, her scientific mind struggling to comprehend the advanced technology before her. "You've mastered quantum stasis." Nova's response came with a tinge of pride, but also deep sorrow. Last resort, survival imperative, many lost to time. As the newly awakened luminary stumbled from the quantum fold chamber, Sarah's comm crackled to life. Captain Chen's voice came through, tense with barely contained excitement and fear. "Dr. Rees, we've got a situation up here. Multiple unknown objects just dropped out of, well, we're not sure what to call it. Some kind of faster-than-light travel we've never seen before. They're on an intercept course with the planet." Sarah's heart raced. "The Void Eaters," she whispered, looking up at Nova. The luminary's multifaceted eyes reflected the starry sky, scanning for any sign of the approaching threat. "Void hunger approaching," Nova confirmed, its thoughts tinged with a steely determination. "Must activate Cosmic Aegis." Before Sarah could ask what the cosmic aegis was, the ground beneath them trembled. Massive plates in the earth began to shift and separate, revealing a colossal machine that dwarfed even the largest luminary structures. It rose from the depths like a mechanical leviathan, its surface a mesmerizing blend of crystal and metal. Incredible, Sarah gasped, her scientific curiosity momentarily overriding her fear. What is it? Nova's response came not in words or concepts, but in a flood of images and sensations. Sarah saw the machine, the cosmic aegis, harnessing the fundamental forces of the universe itself. It was a shield, a weapon, and a bridge between dimensions all at once. It's a cosmic firewall, Sarah realized, her mind racing to translate the alien concepts into terms she could understand. Designed to repel the Void Eaters on a quantum level. As the aegis continued to rise, Sarah's calm crackled again. This time, it was Dr. Puttel, the Horizon's quantum physicist. Dr. Rees, you won't believe the readings we're getting from the planet's surface. It's like they're rewriting the laws of physics on a localized scale. Sarah couldn't help but smile despite the gravity of the situation. Oh, they're doing more than that, Aisha. They're about to give us a crash course in cosmic warfare. As if on cue, the sky above them seemed to tear open. A gash of absolute darkness appeared, ringed by what looked like dying stars. From this cosmic wound, shapes began to emerge, writhing, amorphous entities that seemed to devour the very light around them. Void Eaters, Nova's thoughts echoed with ancient hatred and fear. The luminary around them sprang into action. Beams of condensed starlight shot from their hands, carving swaths through the encroaching darkness. The cosmic aegis thrummed with power, projecting a shimmering barrier that enveloped the entire planet. Sarah stood transfixed, watching as two alien forces clashed in the skies above. It was beautiful and terrifying, a cosmic ballet of light and shadow that defied human comprehension. Suddenly, a tendril of darkness broke through the barrier, snaking towards the city with terrifying speed. Without thinking, Sarah grabbed a fallen luminary weapon, a staff crackling with energy, and fired at the approaching void. To her shock, the beam that erupted from the staff wasn't just light. It was a concentrated stream of mathematical equations and physical laws, literally rewriting reality to banish the encroaching darkness. Holy shit, Sarah laughed, a manic grin spreading across her face. I'm fighting with weaponized science. Nova's appreciation and approval washed over her, along with a new set of instructions. Sarah found herself moving in perfect sync with the luminary, her human intuition complementing that ancient knowledge in ways neither had anticipated. As the battle raged on, Sarah realized that this was more than just a fight for survival. It was a clash of fundamentally opposed forces, the creative, nurturing energy of life against the endless hunger of oblivion. In the midst of the chaos, a new thought from Nova caught Sarah's attention. Horizon allies can assist. Sarah's eyes widened as she understood. Quickly, she activated her comm. Captain Chen, the Luminaries say you can help. Is there any way you can position the Horizon to amplify the cosmic aegis? There was a moment of stunned silence before Chen replied. I think so. Dr. Purtell says we can use the ship's warp field to create a resonance cascade with the planet's shield. Do it, Sarah shouted, ducking as a bolt of void energy sizzled overhead. The effect was immediate and stunning. As the Horizon moved into position, its warp field intersecting with the cosmic aegis, a new layer of protection sprang into existence. The combined human and luminary technologies created a synergy that neither could have achieved alone. The tide of the battle began to turn. The Void Eaters, faced with this unexpected resistance, began to retreat. Their writhing forms were sucked back into the cosmic gash from which they had emerged, leaving behind a sky scarred with fading darkness. As the last of the shadow entities vanished, a cheer went up from both the Luminari and the human crew watching from orbit. Sarah found herself enveloped in Nova's embrace, the alien's joy and gratitude washing over her in waves. We did it, Sarah breathed, scarcely able to believe what had just transpired. We actually did it. Nova's response was filled with warmth, but also caution. Battle won. War continues. Much to learn to teach. As the adrenaline of the moment began to fade, Sarah realized the profound truth of Nova's words. This was only the beginning. Humanity had just been thrust onto a galactic stage, facing threats and wonders beyond their wildest imaginations. But they weren't facing it alone. In the Luminary, they had found not just allies, but kindred spirits, fellow explorers and scientists in a universe far grander and more perilous than they had ever dreamed. As the twin moons of the alien world set on the horizon, heralding a new dawn, Sarah looked up at Nova, her heart filled with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. "So," she said, a smile playing on her lips, "what's next on the cosmic agenda?" Nova's response came with a sense of adventure and infinite possibility. The next chapter of their journey was about to unfold, and with it, the dawn of a new era for both humanity and the Luminary. Little did they know that light years away, in the depths of the void, the retreating Eaters were regrouping. This battle was over, but the war for the fate of the cosmos had only just begun. Quantum Nexus. The aftermath of the battle left the Luminary city bathed in an ethereal glow, its crystalline structures humming with residual energy. Sarah stood atop the central spire, her eyes fixed on the horizon, where the last traces of the cosmic rift were fading. Nova loomed beside her, its iridescent scales shimmering with an internal light that seemed to pulse in rhythm with the city itself. Nexus key activated, Nova's thoughts resonated in Sarah's mind. Gateway to infinite realms opens. Before Sarah could ask for clarification, the air in front of them began to shimmer and twist. Reality itself seemed to fold and unfold, revealing a sight that made Sarah's scientific mind reel with possibilities. A massive, multidimensional structure materialized before them, its architecture defying Euclidean geometry. It was the Quantum Nexus, a hub connecting countless parallel universes and alternate timelines. "Great googly moogly," Sarah breathed, her eyes wide with wonder. "It's a bridge between realities." Captain Chen's voice crackled over the comm, a mix of awe and concern evident in his tone. "Dr. Reeves, we're detecting. Well, we're not sure what we're detecting. It's like the fabric of spacetime is being rewritten around the planet." Sarah couldn't help but laugh. "Oh, Captain, you have no idea. We're looking at the next phase of cosmic evolution. The Quantum Nexus is online." As if in response to her words, the Nexus pulsed with energy, and suddenly the sky above them was filled with holographic projections of different Earths, different versions of their own planet, and worlds beyond imagination. Nova's thoughts carried a sense of urgency. Void Eaters threaten all realities. Must unite across dimensions. Humanity key to cosmic alliance. Sarah's mind raced with the implications. "You're saying we need to form a multi-dimensional coalition to fight the Void Eaters across all realities." The affirmation from Nova came with a flood of images, countless versions of Earth and other alien worlds, all facing the same creeping darkness. The Void Eaters weren't just a threat to their universe, they were a cancer spreading across the entire multiverse. "Well," Sarah said, a determined grin spreading across her face, "I guess we'd better start making some interdimensional friends." As if on cue, the Quantum Nexus hummed to life. Portals began to open, each one a window to another reality. And through these portals stepped beings both familiar and utterly alien. There was a version of humanity that had evolved into beings of pure energy, their forms flickering like living flame. Another portal revealed that Earth, where dinosaurs had never gone extinct, and now sentient, technologically advanced reptiles regarded them with curious eyes. From yet another stepped beings that seemed to be living constellations, their bodies formed of starlight and cosmic dust. "Holy Hawking," Sarah whispered, her scientific mind struggling to categorize the parade of interdimensional beings now assembling in the Luminary city. Nova's thoughts radiated approval and excitement. Convergence begins. Knowledge shared, power multiplied. As representatives from across the multiverse gathered, Sarah found herself at the center of an unprecedented exchange of ideas and technologies. Concepts that she had once considered purely theoretical were being discussed as practical applications. The secrets of dark matter manipulation, zero-point energy harvesting, and even time dilation were being freely shared. Dr. Reeves, Captain Chen's voice came through again, a note of disbelief evident. We're receiving transmissions from ourselves. Multiple versions of the horizon are appearing in orbit, each from a different reality. Sarah nodded, even though Chen couldn't see her. That tracks, Captain. We're witnessing the formation of a multiversal alliance. Humanity isn't just joining the galactic stage, we're becoming key players in a cosmic drama. As the interdimensional summit continued, Sarah found herself in deep discussion with a version of herself from a reality where Earth had achieved singularity with artificial intelligence. The insights she gained were staggering, opening up new avenues of research she had never even considered. Suddenly, an alarm blared from the quantum nexus. The holographic displays flickered, showing a massive void tear forming in a neighboring reality. The Void Eaters were launching another assault. Without hesitation, the assembled beings sprang into action. Sarah watched in awe as technologies beyond her wildest dreams were deployed. Reptilian Earth sent out swarms of nanobots that consumed the void energies. The star beings sang in frequencies that rewrote the fundamental laws of physics in localized areas, creating zones where the Void Eaters simply couldn't exist. And humanity. They discovered their unique role in this cosmic ballet, the human ability to adapt, to think creatively in the face of adversity, proved to be a linchpin in coordinating the multiversal defense. Sarah found herself coordinating with her alternate selves, each bringing a unique perspective to the battle. They became a nexus of innovation, combining ideas from across realities to create new strategies on the fly. As the battle raged across dimensions, a new understanding dawned on Sarah. The Void Eaters weren't just an enemy to be defeated, they were a fundamental force of the multiverse, a cosmic counterbalance to creation itself. The goal wasn't to destroy them, but to find a harmony, a way to coexist across the grand tapestry of existence. Nova, Sarah called out, her mind alight with a new theory. What if we're approaching this all wrong? We're fighting against the void, but what if we could work with it instead? Nova's response was a mixture of curiosity and cautious hope. Explain theory. Possibilities unfold. Sarah's words came in a rush, her excitement palpable. The void isn't just destruction, it's potential. It's the canvas on which reality is painted. What if we could harness that potential, use it to create rather than destroy? As she spoke, the assembled beings from across the multiverse turned to listen. In that moment, Sarah realized that this was humanity's true role in the cosmic drama, not just to fight, but to innovate, to see possibilities where others saw only obstacles. With a unified effort, the Multiversal Alliance began to implement Sarah's theory. Instead of fighting against the void tiers, they began to shake them, using the quantum nexus to direct the energies of creation and destruction in a grand, cosmic dance. The results were awe-inspiring. Where once there was only encroaching darkness, now new realities blossomed. The Void Eaters, drawn to these new creations, found their hunger sated in a way that didn't threaten existing worlds. As the immediate crisis abated, Sarah looked out over the assembly of interdimensional beings, her heart swelling with pride and wonder. Humanity had proven itself not just as warriors, but as peacemakers and innovators on a cosmic scale. Nova's thoughts reached out, filled with gratitude and a deep, abiding respect. Humanity surpasses expectations. New era dawns. Sarah nodded, her mind already racing with the possibilities that lay ahead. The quantum nexus hummed with potential, a gateway to infinite adventures across the multiverse. Well, she said, a smile playing on her lips, I guess to boldly go where no one has gone before just took on a whole new meaning. As the assembled beings from across realities began to discuss the implications of their new understanding, Sarah knew that this was just the beginning. The multiverse was vast, full of wonders and dangers beyond imagination, and humanity, in all its infinite variations, would be at the forefront of exploring it all. The next chapter of their cosmic odyssey was about to begin, and Sarah couldn't wait to see where it would lead. Cosmic harmony. The quantum nexus pulsed with a kaleidoscope of energies as Sarah stood at its heart, her mind interfaced directly with its multi-dimensional systems. Around her, holographic displays showed countless realities, each one a thread in the grand tapestry of the multiverse. Nova loomed nearby, its iridescent scales reflecting the swirling cosmos. Sync achieved, Nova's thoughts resonated. Multiversal symphony begins. Sarah nodded, her eyes glowing with an otherworldly light as she processed information from across realities. It's time to conduct the cosmic orchestra, she said, a smile playing on her lips. With a thought, Sarah initiated the Harmonic Convergence Protocol, a groundbreaking fusion of luminary quantum technology and humanity's unique capacity for creative problem-solving. The nexus hummed, its energy synchronizing with the very fabric of reality. Suddenly, the space around them exploded into a dazzling display of cosmic artistry. Streams of quantum data flowed like rivers of light, intertwining and separating in a mesmerizing dance. Each stream represented a different reality, a different possibility in the grand equation of existence. By Hawking's chair, Captain Chen's awestruck voice came through the comm. "Dr. Rees, what are we looking at?" Sarah's laugh was filled with wonder and excitement. "We're looking at the source code of the universe, Captain, and we're about to do some cosmic debugging." As she spoke, Sarah began to weave the streams of data together, her mind working in perfect harmony with the quantum nexus. She was no longer just a scientist observing the cosmos. She had become a cosmic artist, painting with a brush of reality itself. Nova's thoughts surged with approval and anticipation. Creation and destruction, balance achieved, void eaters repurposed. The assembled beings from across the multiverse watched in awe as Sarah's work took shape. Where once the void eaters had been a threat, they now became an integral part of the cosmic ecosystem. Their hunger for reality was channeled into the creation of new universes, filling the voids between dimensions with burgeoning potential. "It's like a cosmic recycling system," Sarah explained, her voice filled with excitement. "We're not destroying the void eaters, we're giving them a new purpose. They consume dying realities and use that energy to birth new ones." As she worked, something unprecedented began to happen. The barriers between realities started to thin, not in the destructive way they had before, but in a controlled, harmonious manner. Knowledge, culture, and innovations began to flow freely between dimensions. Captain Chen's voice crackled through again, a mix of awe and concern evident in his tone. "Dr. Reeves, we're detecting, well, everything. It's like we're receiving signals from every version of Earth across the multiverse. How is this possible?" Sarah grinned, her fingers dancing through the holographic interfaces. "We've created a multiversal internet, Captain, the cosmic web. Imagine the potential. We can now learn from every possible version of ourselves, share solutions to problems that have plagued humanity across countless realities." As if to demonstrate, Sarah reached out and plucked a stream of data from the cosmic flow. Instantly, holographic displays lit up around her, showing technological marvels from Earth where clean energy had been mastered centuries ago. "Look at this," Sarah breathed, her eyes wide with excitement. Cold fusion, zero-point energy harvesters, even gravity manipulation on a planetary scale. With this knowledge, we could solve our energy crisis overnight. Nova's thoughts resonated with a deep sense of satisfaction. Balance achieved. Cosmic ecosystem thrives. But even as they celebrated their achievement, a new alert pinged across the cosmic web. Sarah's brow furrowed as she examined the incoming data. "We've got a problem," she announced, her voice tight with concern. "There's a reality out there, way off the beaten multiversal path. It's dying. Not just the planet, but the entire universe is collapsing in on itself." The assembled beings from across realities turned their attention to the distress signal. It was a universe unlike any they had encountered, a place where the fundamental constants of physics were drastically different, resulting in a reality that was inherently unstable. "We can't just let it die," Sarah said, her mind already racing with possibilities. There could be sentient life there, civilizations facing the end of everything they've ever known. Nova's response came with a sense of caution. Danger great, laws of physics incompatible, intervention risky. Sarah nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. Interfering with a reality so fundamentally different from their own could have catastrophic consequences. But the thought of abandoning an entire universe to oblivion was unthinkable. "What if," Sarah began, a spark of inspiration in her eyes, "we don't try to save their universe, but instead offer them a new home?" Her fingers flew across the holographic interfaces as she explained her plan. Using the quantum nexus and the newly repurposed void eaters, they could create a pocket universe, a safe haven with physical laws compatible with the dying reality's inhabitants. The idea spread across the cosmic web like wildfire. Beings from countless realities offered their expertise, working together in an unprecedented show of multiversal cooperation. As the plan took shape, Sarah found herself at the center of the most ambitious undertaking in the history of, well, everything. She was no longer just a scientist or even a cosmic artist. She had become a universal architect. The quantum nexus thrummed with power as they initiated the creation sequence. Sarah watched in awe as the fabric of reality itself began to fold and unfold, creating a new bubble of existence. "It's working," she cried, her voice filled with joy and disbelief. "We're literally building a new universe." As the pocket universe took shape, they sent out a message across the multiversal divide, offering sanctuary to the inhabitants of the dying reality. The response was immediate, a flood of gratitude and relief from beings facing the end of everything they had ever known. The evacuation was a sight unlike anything the multiverse had ever seen. Entire civilizations, the sum total of a universe's history and culture, crossing the threshold into their new home. Sarah worked tirelessly, fine-tuning the physical laws of the pocket universe to ensure a smooth transition for its new inhabitants. As the last refugees crossed over, Sarah initiated the final phase of the plan. With surgical precision, she directed the Void Eaters to consume the collapsing universe, using its energy to stabilize the new reality they had created. The assembled beings watched in awe as an entire universe was born anew, safe from oblivion by the combined efforts of countless realities. As the cosmic dust settled, Sarah leaned back, exhaustion and exhilaration warring within her. She had come to this alien world seeking new life and new civilizations. Instead, she had found herself at the heart of a multiversal renaissance, reshaping the very nature of existence itself. Nova's thoughts reached out, filled with a deep respect and something akin to affection. Humanity surpasses all expectations, future bright with infinite possibilities. Sarah nodded, a smile playing on her lips as she gazed out at the swirling cosmos. "You know," she said, her voice filled with wonder, "I have a feeling our adventure is just beginning." As if in response, the quantum nexus pulsed with new energy, countless realities beckoning with the promise of undiscovered wonders. The multiverse stretched out before them, an infinite canvas awaiting the brushstrokes of imagination and discovery. Sarah squared her shoulders, her eyes gleaming with the light of distant stars and the fire of human curiosity. "Well then," she said, her voice ringing with determination and excitement, "let's see what's out there." And with that, humanity took its first true steps into the vast, wondrous, and infinitely complex cosmic ocean, ready to make its mark on the grandest stage imaginable, the multiverse itself. The quantum quandary. The cosmic web hummed with activity as Sarah, now known across the multiverse as the Nexus Architect, stood before a holographic display of mind-bending complexity. Her eyes, now flecked with iridescent patterns reminiscent of Nova's scales, darted between streams of multiversal data. "Anomaly detected," she muttered, her brow furrowing. "Nova, are you seeing this?" The massive luminary being shifted, its crystalline structure resonating with concern. Paradox cascade imminent, timeline fracture detected. Before Sarah could respond, alarms blared across the quantum nexus. The holographic display exploded into a chaotic swirl of conflicting data streams, each representing a different timeline spiraling out of control. By Einstein's mustache, Sarah gasped, her fingers flying over the quantum interface. "We've got a full-scale chronocrisis on our hands." Captain Chen's voice crackled through the comm, tense with urgency. "Dr. Rees, we're picking up temporal distortions all across the multiverse. What in the name of Hawking's synthesizer is going on?" Sarah's mind raced as she processed the influx of data. "It's a time tsunami, Captain. Someone, or something, is messing with the fundamental constants of causality. If we don't stop it, the entire multiverse could unravel." As if to punctuate her words, a rift tore open in the fabric of space-time before them. Through it, they could see glimpses of alternate realities bleeding into one another, dinosaurs roaming futuristic cities, starships battling medieval knights, entire civilizations flickering in and out of existence. Chronivores, Nova's thoughts resonated with ancient dread. Time Eaters awaken. Sarah's eyes widened as understanding dawned. Of course, the Void Eaters have a temporal counterpart. We balance the spatial dimensions, but we forgot about time itself. With a thought, Sarah activated the cosmic web's emergency protocols. Across countless realities, beings of unimaginable diversity and power tuned into her multiversal broadcast. "Attention all sentient entities," Sarah's voice echoed across dimensions. "We face a threat to the very fabric of time itself. We need a temporal task force now." The response was immediate and overwhelming. Through quantum portals stepped an assortment of beings that defied imagination. A team of cybernetically enhanced velociraptors, their scales gleaming with chronometric circuitry. A group of sentient mathematical equations, their very existence a paradox that somehow stabilized local spacetime. A swarm of quantum ghosts, beings who existed simultaneously across all points in time. Sarah couldn't help but grin despite the gravity of the situation. Now this is what I call a motley crew. Without missing a beat, she began coordinating the assembled forces. "Veloci team, I need you to track the chronivore incursion points. Quantum ghosts, start patching the temporal rifts. Equation squad, just keep doing whatever it is you're doing. It seems to be helping." As the task force sprang into action, Sarah turned her attention to the heart of the crisis. The holographic display showed a massive, writhing entity at the center of the temporal storm, the Alpha Chronivore, a being that existed outside of time itself. "That's our target," Sarah declared, her voice filled with determination. "We need to neutralize it without destroying it. Remember, it's a fundamental force of the multiverse, just like the Void Eaters." Nova's thoughts surged with an idea. Harmony through opposition, time and anti-time. Sarah's eyes lit up as she grasped Nova's concept. "Brilliant. We don't need to destroy the chronivores. We need to give them a purpose, just like we did with the Void Eaters." Her fingers danced across the quantum interface as she began reprogramming the fabric of reality itself. The plan was audacious, borderline insane, but it just might work. "Listen up, team," Sarah broadcast across the cosmic web. "We're going to create a temporal recycling system. The chronivores will consume expired timelines and use that energy to birth new potential futures. It's cosmic composting on a multiversal scale." As the plan was put into motion, the multiverse itself seemed to hold its breath. The Alpha Chronivore, sensing the change, turned its unfathomable attention towards them. For a moment that stretched into eternity, Sarah stood face to face with a being that existed beyond time. In its swirling, chaos-riddled form, she saw the potential for both ultimate destruction and infinite creation. "It's okay," she said softly, reaching out not with her hand, but with her very consciousness. "We're not here to hurt you. We're here to help you find your place in the grand dance of existence." The Alpha Chronivore paused, its writhing form stabilizing for a fraction of a second. Then, with a surge of chronometric energy that shook the very foundations of reality, it accepted Sarah's offer. The effect was immediate and awe-inspiring. The temporal rifts began to close, timelines stabilized, and the chaotic swirl of conflicting realities settled into a harmonious flow. As the crisis subsided, Sarah slumped back, physically and mentally exhausted. Nova's comforting presence enveloped her, its thoughts radiating pride and admiration. "Humanity exceeds all expectations," Nova communicated. "Cosmic balance achieved." Sarah chuckled weakly, running a hand through her hair, which now seemed to shimmer with traces of temporal energy. "All in a day's work when you're a multiversal troubleshooter, I suppose." As the Temporal Task Force celebrated their victory, a new alert pinged across the cosmic web. Sarah groaned, wondering what new crisis could possibly be brewing. But as she accessed the incoming data, her exhaustion gave way to excitement. It wasn't a threat, but an invitation, a message from a collective of tight-eyed civilizations from the far edges of the multiverse. "Well, I'll be a quantum quark," Sarah breathed, her eyes wide with wonder. "They're inviting us to join the Multiversal Council. Humanity's just hit the big leagues, folks." As the implications of this new development sank in, Sarah realized that their journey was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. The multiverse stretched out before them, filled with infinite wonders and challenges beyond imagination. With a smile that could outshine a supernova, Sarah turned to her motley crew of multiversal allies. "So," she said, her voice filled with unbridled enthusiasm, "who's up for our next impossible adventure?" The resounding cheer that echoed across dimensions was all the answer she needed. Humanity, in all its infinite variations, was ready to take its place among the cosmic elite, forever changing the face of the multiverse. As they prepared for their next mind-bending journey, Sarah couldn't help but reflect on how far they'd come. From a simple exploration mission to becoming architects of reality itself, it had been one hell of a ride. And the best part, their cosmic odyssey was only just beginning. The multiversal metamorphosis. The cosmic Colosseum, a structure that existed simultaneously across all realities, buzzed with anticipation. Representatives from countless civilizations, some so advanced they appeared as pure energy, others bizarre beyond human comprehension, had gathered for an event unprecedented in the history of the multiverse. At the center of it all stood Sarah, her form now a swirling nexus of quantum energy barely contained in human shape. Beside her, Nova towered, its crystalline body refracting light from a million different realities. "Nervous?" Sarah asked, a smile playing on her lips that seemed to flicker between dimensions. Nova's thoughts resonated with amusement, excitement, anticipation, pride. Humanity's ascension begins. Before them stood the Multiversal Council, a pantheon of beings so advanced they made Type IA civilizations look like amoeba. The Alpha Counselor, a being of pure thought, addressed the assembly. "We gather today to witness the cosmic crucible," its voice echoed across realities. "Humanity, guided by the Nexus architect Sarah Reeves, faces the ultimate test. Should they succeed, they will join our ranks as cosmic custodians." Sarah took a deep breath, her mind expanding to encompass the challenge before her. This wasn't just a test for her, but for humanity as a whole. Their actions here would echo across the multiverse for eternity. The first trial materialized before them, a dying universe, its very laws of physics unraveling at the seams. "Architect," the Alpha Counselor intoned, "demonstrate your mastery of the fundamental forces. Rebuild this reality." Sarah nodded, her eyes glowing with determination. With a thought, she dove into the collapsing universe, her consciousness spreading across its vast expanse. She could feel every quark, every string vibrating in discord. "Time for some cosmic tuning," Sarah muttered, a grin spreading across her face. Her hands moved in intricate patterns, weaving the fabric of reality like a master composer. Fundamental forces realigned, constants shifted, and slowly, the universe began to stabilize. But Sarah didn't stop there. She introduced new elements, seeding the reborn cosmos with potential for life and wonder. As she withdrew, the assembled council murmured in approval. Where once there was chaos, now a young, vibrant universe pulsed with possibility. "Impressive," the Alpha Counselor acknowledged. "But can you handle the unexpected?" Suddenly, a temporal paradox erupted in the heart of the cosmic colosseum. Past, present, and future collided in a maelstrom of conflicting realities. Alternate versions of Sarah and Nova found themselves face to face, each from a timeline where history had unfolded differently. "Oh, you want unexpected?" Sarah laughed, her voice echoing across dimensions. "Let's dance." Instead of fighting the paradox, Sarah embraced it. She reached out to her alternate selves, merging their experiences and knowledge. In a dazzling display of multidimensional manipulation, she wove the conflicting timelines into a tapestry of infinite possibility. The paradox collapsed, replaced by a shimmering quantum field that hummed with potential. The council leaned forward, intrigued by this unorthodox solution. "Final trial," the Alpha Counselor announced. "The entropy enigma." Before Sarah could react, she found herself transported to the end of time. The heat death of the multiverse loomed, an inevitable tide of nothingness threatening to erase all existence. For a moment, even Sarah's boundless optimism faltered. How could one face the ultimate end? Then, a spark of inspiration hit her. "If you can't beat 'em, join 'em," she whispered, a mischievous glint in her eye. Sarah reached out, not fighting the encroaching entropy, but embracing it. She tapped into the vast sea of nothing, shaping it, molding it. And then, with a burst of creation that rivaled the Big Bang, she ignited a new multiverse within the void. "Ladies, gentlemen, and unclassifiable entities," Sarah announced, her voice ringing with triumph, "I give you the Phoenix Protocol. When one multiverse ends, another is born from its ashes." The cosmic colosseum erupted in a cacophony of multidimensional applause. Even the Stoic Council seemed impressed. The Alpha Counselor stepped forward, its form shimmering with approval. "Nexus Architect Sarah Rees, you have proven yourself worthy. Humanity is hereby granted the status of cosmic custodians. The infinite realities are now your canvas." As the words echoed across dimensions, Sarah felt a change ripple through her being. Her consciousness expanded, encompassing realities beyond imagination. She was no longer just human, but something more, a bridge between the finite and the infinite. Nova's thoughts reached out, filled with pride and a touch of bittersweet realization. Teacher becomes student, cycle continues. Sarah turned to her alien friend, tears of joy and gratitude shimmering in her now starry eyes. "We did it, Nova. We really did it." As the ceremony concluded, the newly ascended humanity found itself flooded with knowledge from across the multiverse. Secrets of creation, the true nature of consciousness, the underlying code of reality itself, all now open to exploration. But with great power came great responsibility. As cosmic custodians, humanity's role was not to dominate, but to nurture, to guide, but not interfere, to maintain the delicate balance of the cosmic ecosystem. Sarah stood at the precipice of infinity, the entire multiverse spread out before her like an endless ocean of possibility. She turned to the assembled representatives of humanity, her voice filled with wonder and determination. "My fellow humans, we stand at the dawn of a new era. We've been given the keys to creation itself. The question now is, what wonders shall we create?" As it can answer, a ripple of excitement spread through the gathered humans. Scientists, artists, philosophers, and dreamers from every walk of life, their minds alight with the infinite possibilities that lay before them. Sarah couldn't help but smile. This was why humanity had been chosen, not for their technology or their strength, but for their boundless creativity and their insatiable curiosity. "Well then," she said, her eyes twinkling with the light of newborn stars, "let's go explore the impossible." And with that, humanity took its first steps not as conquerors of the cosmos, but as its caretakers. The multiverse would never be the same again. As they dispersed to begin their new roles, Sarah felt a tug at the edge of her consciousness, a faint signal coming from beyond the boundaries of known reality. Something new, something unprecedented, calling out from the great unknown. She grinned, the thrill of discovery coursing through her multidimensional form. Their greatest adventure was just beginning. "Nova," she called out, her voice resonating across the cosmos, ready for one more impossible quest. The Luminary's response came instantly, filled with eager anticipation. Together, Nexus architect and cosmic companion, they'd plunged into the unknown, ready to face whatever wonders or challenges awaited them in the vast, infinite ocean of existence. The multiverse held its breath, eager to see what this young, vibrant, endlessly creative species would do next. With humanity as its new custodians, the cosmic story was about to enter its most exciting chapter yet.